Welcome to Who Stole Hanukkah, an interactive mystery game. Pick your language.
ברוכים הבאים למי גנב את חנוכה. הרפתקה בלשית אינטראקטיבית. באיזו שפה תרצו לשחק?
Добро пожаловать в игру «Кто украл Хануку?» Великую, таинственную компьютерную игру. Выбери язык.
Bienvenue sur Qui a volé Hanukkah, le grand jeu du mystère interactif. Choisissez votre langue.
Bienvenidos a ¿Quién robó a Hanukkah? El gran juego de misterio interactivo. Escoge tu idioma.
Starting new game. One night. Not long before Hanukkah, Professor Croak was in his study. There, among his rare collection of relics from the Hellenistic period, he gazed fondly at his most prized possession, the actual jar of oil which Judah Maccabee found in the temple in Jerusalem, and whose oil miraculously burned for 8 days. This year, he thought to himself as he dozed off, he would celebrate the 8th night of Hanukkah by burning the last remaining bit of this historic oil. But while the professor slept, the lights went out, shrill sounds pierced the night, and when the professor awoke, the jar of oil was missing. Who could have done such a thing? Was it the Greek statue Narciso? Crystal, the fortune-teller? The ever-hungry Latka troll? The warrior elephant, Bamba? Schlemiel, the temple repairman? The veteran actress, Mademoiselle Menorah? Or a star, lead singer of the Candle Sisters? Or the elusive Groucho Cat? It's up to you to find out who did it in Who Stole Hanukkah? Nearly's the name, Hanukkah's my game. I'll be in my room if you want my help finding clues. Oh, and one hint. You'd better check out every suspect carefully before you guess who did it.
Hey, who turned off the lights? I don't know about you, I'm clueless. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Can I shed some light on this mystery? Okay, you got 8 days to solve this one.
Taking aim solving the crime. So let's look at the story of Hanukkah. Don't be shy. Go ahead and look around.
There are no messages at this time.
Trying to leave him? Not so fast. You need a gold key and the secret password. Over 2,300 years ago, Alexander the Great made Greece the largest empire in the world by capturing countries all around the Mediterranean Sea, including Israel, then called Judea. Greek culture spread throughout these countries, and some Jews, called Hellenists, were attracted to Greek ways. Sometimes a Jewish family would be divided over just how Greek to become.
I'm on my way to the house to make a Thanksgiving offering to the Emperor. Anyone want to come with?
Now, Jason, when we're getting ready for Shabbat?
My friend Ariadne has her own personal slave. Can I get one too?
You'll have to ask your father, dear. Remember when we used to carry our first fruits to the temple on Shavuot?
Mom, you're living in the past. Hey, can you pass me the stuffed grape leaves?
Dad, this Greek letter looks sort of like the Hebrew letter Aleph.
Aleph? Free Aleph, Alex! You've got alphas and betas to learn! What is justice? What is virtue? Why is this night different from all others?
Forget it, Dad. You'll never make it as a Greek philosopher. Hey, heard in the marketplace that there's going to be a war between Jews who like the Greeks and Jews who don't.
Daphne, that would be awful.
Don't get uptight. If that ever happens, the Greeks will be on our side.
Alice, you know you can't go to the Olympics until you've read your Socrates and Plato.
But Mom, I'm still learning the alphabet. Zeus, Dionysus? What are we doing? Doesn't it say in the Torah you should have no other gods before me?
Alex, don't be such a dud. We're only trying out a few new ones.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts, unless it's a particularly expensive one. My body is a temple. You may worship if you like. I'll take the Greek salad. And a side order of latkes, please. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts, unless it's a particularly expensive one.
Of course, you want the secret password to get into Nelly's room. So answer this. Who was the Greek ruler who conquered the Middle East in the 4th century BCE?
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Not-So-Great.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Hercules!
Alexander the Great.
Right, the password is Alexander the Great. You can answer more questions for fun if you want. The Greeks brought many things to the tiny Jewish state of Judea. What did they not bring?
Theater.
Sports.
Idols.
Rollerblades.
Idols.
Almost. Try again.
Rollerblades.
Right! Who were the Hellenists?
Jews who liked Helen, of course.
Jews who said, hello?
Jews who imitated the Greeks.
The first Jews who celebrated Hanukkah.
Jews who imitated the Greeks.
Good job! What do you call the translation of the Hebrew Bible to Greek?
The Odyssey.
The Haftarah.
The Septuagint.
I don't even know the alphabet.
The Septuagint.
Right! When did the Hanukkah story take place?
Right after the Exodus from Egypt.
Right after King Solomon built the first temple.
During the time of the Second Temple.
I don't know. My watch stopped.
During the time of the Second Temple.
Good job! Who was Greek ruler who conquered the Middle East in the 4th century BCE?
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Not-So-Great.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Hercules! Hercules!
Sorry, try again.
Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
Hello to all our friends out there. I'm Narciso, your host, and this is Pick Your Culture. Today's guests are two coins, that wild and crazy Greek Syrian king, Antiochus Epiphanes. And that famous Jewish rebel, Judah the Hammer Maccabee. Here's how we play. I ask a question, contestants answer when you click on them. When I announce that the round is over, you in the audience get to gong the one you like less. Sound like fun, huh? Let's begin round one. The first question is, what were you like as a little boy?
I was a kid. Used to break lots of vases. Spill wine on the upholstery. Once I put a scorpion in my brother's tunic.
Me? I loved to run around and play army with my 4 brothers. Yeah, those were good times.
Hey fans, how about these contestants? Question number 2. What kind of relationship did you have with your father?
My old man, he was a tyrant, always telling me what to do. I couldn't wait to become king, so I could boss other people around.
My dad was the bravest man I ever met, but gentle too. I remember he'd always put his hands on my head when he'd say the priestly benediction.
Okay, question number 3. This one's a toughie. Do you believe in God?
I'll do you better than that. I believe in gods. Lots of them. Of course, my personal favorite is the head god, Zeus. I try to run a tight ship just like he did.
You believe in God, the God of Abraham and Sarah. I believe in the God that helped our small army beat the Greeks.
God schmod. You guys got lucky.
Okay fans, that's it for round 1. Now it's your turn. Just gong the one you like less. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get you.
What audience we have today? Give yourselves a big hand. Ready for round 2? Here's the first question. What is your favorite color?
I would have to say marble-colored. I think I look fabulous in marble. Oh, definitely gold. That's the color of the giant menorah that stood in the temple. That was a beautiful sight.
Great answer, contestants! On to the next question. Who would you least like to spend a rainy day with?
I'd say the Hellenists. Not because they take on Greek ways, but because some of them forget they're Jews. That's the worst thing that happened to the Jewish people since the golden calf.
I'd have to say the Greek Egyptian king, that Ptolemy fellow. I can't stand the way he thinks he runs the Greek Empire when everyone knows that I run the Greek Empire.
Great! Now, let's wrap up this round with a final question. What is your favorite joke?
Did you hear the one about that old man who refused to bow down to the statue of Zeus I put up in his town? Now that was a good one. Of course I sent in soldiers to take care of him.
How about one where the army couldn't beat a ragtag crew of locals a fraction their size? As I once told my Maccabees, the joke's on the Greeks.
Oh, you guys are too much. Okay, fans, back to you. You've heard round 2. Now gong the one you like less.
You can't win 'em all.
We're back with round 3. Ready, contestants? The question is, what is your sweetest memory?
For the day I became king, I've always said, if the crown fits, wear it.
I've got to say the time we rededicated the temple, and 1 day's worth of oil burned for 8 days. You should have been there.
Moving right along, what was your most embarrassing moment?
Well, at one point in our war against the Maccabees, the rumor spread that I had died. Our top general had to leave the war in the middle to come back to Antioch, only to find me sitting there eating a leg of lamb. It was so embarrassing.
I think the most embarrassing moment was when I came to the studio today and found myself on a coin. In Jewish tradition, we don't put our faces on coins, since that's making ourselves too much like God.
Sorry about that one, Judah. Okay, contestants, our very last question. What is the most important thing you wish for the next generation?
World peace. Under me as emperor, of course.
Religious freedom.
Okay, fans, one more crack at the old gong. Gong the one you like less.
Are you picking on me?
You want the key to Nerly's room? Well, fans, let's play the key game! Here is a head, and here is a tail. Pick one, heads or tails, and we'll see how the coin lands. Oh, tough break! But you'll receive a set of broken pottery shards as a consolation prize, courtesy of our show. Alright, let's try again. Pick one, heads or tails, and we'll see how the coin lands. Fantastic! Tails it is. You've won the gold key to Nerly's room!
It's locked, don't you get it? That won't open me. Ah, you've got the gold key.
What about the secret password? What about the secret password? What about the secret password?
Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see Zidaso, the Greek statue. He just might be slick enough to have committed this crime. Now, you can look over pictures of the suspects, or go to the scene of the crime. Crystal, the fortune teller. The Latke Troll, Bomba the warrior elephant, Shlemiel the temple repairman, Mademoiselle Menorah, Aura Star of the Candle Sisters, Groucho Cat, now there's a sneaky one, Narciso the Greek statue. Here we are at the scene of the crime. Use your magnifying glass to look for clues. When you're done, go back and hit the streets again. Best looking Greek statues. Better check this for fingerprints.
See no evil. Hear no evil.
Best looking Greek statues. Better check this for fingerprints.
The Greek statue Narciso never eats fried foods.
Look what you found. One of those cards that helps you look into the future.
Hey, Professor! It's Narciso! Love to have you on my show sometime. Let's do lunch after Hanukkah.
Meet you back at my room, okay? Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
When the Greek-Syrian king Antiochus IV ruled over Judea in 168 BCE, he made it against the law to practice Judaism, to learn Torah, to keep kosher, to observe Shabbat, to perform circumcisions. Some Jews continued to observe in secret, knowing that Greek soldiers might kill them if they were caught. You want to know more about the rule of Antiochus IV? It's a very sad story. A fifth story is told in the book of Maccabees and in the Talmud of a woman named Hannah who had 7 sons. Antiochus called them before him and, depending on which version of the story is told, demanded that they bow before a Greek idol or eat pig in the king's presence. So you think you know what a Chassid is? In the Hanukkah story, Jews who upheld Jewish tradition and opposed Greek ways were called Chassidim, the pious ones. They look nothing like the followers of European rabbis whom we think of today when we hear the word Chassidim.
There are no messages at this time.
Want to know more about the spread of Greek culture? What does matzah have to do with Hanukkah? Did you know that the word afikomen, the matzah that we hide at the Passover Seder, is a Greek word? Greek customs influenced quite a bit of the Passover Seder, and in general, the Greek language introduced a number of words into Hebrew. Today in Israel, you'll find many Greek remains from the time of the Second Temple. Architectural columns, rooms of houses, statues, paintings, potteries, and coins. In 333 BCE, Alexander the Great conquered the tiny Jewish state of Judea, which you see in gold. After he died, Syria, which you see in red, and Egypt, which you see in blue, both parts of the Greek Empire then, took turns controlling Judea. At the time of the Hanukkah story, Judea was in Greek-Syrian hands.
Trying to get in her room? Not so fast. You need a gold key and the secret password.
You want Antiochus IV established Jerusalem as a Greek city and made its Jews citizens of Antioch, his Syrian capital. He set up a Greek altar in the temple in Jerusalem, and on the 25th day of Kislev, in the year 168 BCE, he ordered the first sacrifices to be brought to the Greek god Zeus. These sacrifices also paid honor to Antiochus, who is called Antiochus Epiphanes, which means Antiochus the Magnificent or Antiochus the Living God.
Abba, why are we doing this if it's so dangerous?
The Greeks are ruled by a bad man, Tamar. We can't let him decide whether or not we stay Jewish.
Aryeh, are you sure no one's coming?
Greek soldiers usually ride on horseback. It's all quiet, for now.
Aryeh, has the sun set yet?
Almost. Another few minutes, Abba.
Ima, did I bring my prayer book?
It's in the basket, back in the corner. Let's give her a little wine, dear. If she cries, we might be found.
Aryeh, we're waiting. Come in and join us.
Be right there. I just need to lean some branches over the opening of the cave.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Ima's kid gives the creeps. How long do we have to keep coming here on Shabbat?
I don't know, Tamar. We can only pray for a miracle. Now don't be scared, little darling. The Shabbat angels are protecting you.
I may look like a cat, but I'm really a scapegoat.
Abba, I heard that Greek soldiers have been attacking Jews, especially on Shabbat. Is that true?
Yes, they do that because many Jews refuse to fight back if it's Shabbat.
Can I interest you in a ground floor cave with a view?
Aryeh, are you sure no one's coming?
Greek soldiers usually ride on horseback. It's all quiet, for now.
If the Romans end up being as bad as these Greeks, I'm going into exile.
Of course! You want the secret password to get into Nelly's room. So answer this. Antiochus called himself Epiphanes, the Greek word for living God. Some people called him Epimanes, the Greek word for what?
Sleepy.
Grumpy.
Crazy. Crazy.
Right! The secret password is crazy! You already know the secret password. But if you want more questions, why not? There's a story we often tell at Hanukkah of a woman and her 7 sons who refused to worship Greek gods. What was her name?
Dvorah.
Chana.
Madonna.
Dvorah.
Not quite. Try again.
Chana.
Right! What was the name of Antiochus IV's capital city where there was also a large Jewish community?
Alexandria.
Antioch.
The Emerald City.
Antioch.
Right! Who was the Syrian king who didn't let Jews keep Shabbat or bring their offerings to the temple?
Achashverosh.
Antiochus.
Artichokos. Artichokos.
Not quite. Try again.
Antiochus.
Right! Who were the pious Jews throughout Judea who practiced Judaism despite Antiochus's laws.
Hasidim, Hashmonaim.
Latkes. Latkes.
Almost. Try again.
Hasidim.
Good job. Antiochus called himself Epiphanes, the Greek word for living God. Some people called him Epimanes, the Greek word for what?
Sleepy, grumpy.
Crazy.
Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
It's locked. Don't you get it? It's locked. Don't you get it?
I see you are a person who likes to take chances. I'm Crystal, the fortune teller, and you can click on my golden ring if you want to challenge me to a game of a dreidel. Or click on my crystal ring if you want to look into my crystal dreidel. You want to look into my crystal dreidel. When I look into the dreidel, I see. You will bring great light into the world. When I look into the dreidel, I see. You're going to come into a small fortune this Hanukkah. Very small. When I look into the dreidel, I see. Avoid going out tonight. When I look into the dreidel, I see. You will meet a mysterious stranger, if you haven't already. When I look into the dreidel, I see. You will ask your parents for a pet this Hanukkah. They will say no. When I look into the dreidel, I see. You are going to run out of matches on the last night of Hanukkah. So to challenge in dreidel, how very nice. You get 5 rings, and I get 5 rings. We each put one in the middle. Whoever spins a gimel gets everything that's in the middle. A hay gets half of what's in the middle. A nun wins nothing, loses nothing. A shin must put one in the middle. Your spin, click on the dreidel. Put in 1. My spin. Oh well. Your spin. Get half. My spin. There's always next time. Your spin. Put in 1. My spin. How special. Your spin. Get everything. We each put 1 in the middle. My spin. How wonderful. We each put 1 in the middle. Your spin. Get half. My spin. How special. We each put 1 in the middle. Your spin. I see you want the key to Nelly's room. If you spin in 2 tries, the key is yours. Impressive. The key to Nelly's room is yours.
It's locked. Don't you get it? You've got the gold key.
What about the secret password? What about the secret password? Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see you've been Crystal the fortune teller. Maybe her crystal dreidel will tell us if she's the one who did it. Back at the scene of crime, I'm sure we've missed something. Look for new clues and don't forget to review any old ones. Look what you found. One of those cards that helps you look into the future. Not much to go on here. The professor enjoys a little fruit punch each night of Hanukkah. The Hanukkah songbook. The professor doesn't even know how to read music.
See no evil. Hear no evil.
Crystal, the fortune teller, predicted the Maccabees' victory. Crystal, the fortune teller, has never lost in a card game, ever. Crystal, the fortune teller, predicted the Maccabees' victory.
Professor Schlemiel here. By any chance, did I leave my hammer at your place?
Crystal, the fortune teller, has never lost in a card game, ever.
Meet you back at my room, okay? Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
Trying to get in her room? Not so fast. You need a gold key and the secret password.
In a small village called Modi'in, not far from Jerusalem, Greek soldiers put up a statue of the Greek god Zeus and forced the Jews to bring sacrifices to it. The leader of a priestly family, Mattathias, refused to make a sacrifice and started the revolt against the Greeks. Haha, so you want to know more about the beginning of the Maccabees revolt? I'll tell you everything I know. Here's the portrait of Mattathias and his 5 sons, Yochanan, Simon, Judah, Eleazar, and Jonathan. Everyone knows Mattathias' son Judah was called Maccabee. But where did he get this nickname? Some think that Maccabee comes from the Hebrew word makab, which means hammer, and that Judah got this name because of his smashing military skills. Modi'in, hometown of Mattathias and the Maccabees, is in green, sitting between Jerusalem, the gold, and Tel Aviv, the blue. Today in Modi'in, you can visit ancient caves where the Maccabees are buried and see a huge modern city built near the historic site.
Hey, Harry, you think the new statue's good for business?
I don't know, Mo. It's all Greek to me.
Abba, there are too many soldiers around. You have to do what they say.
Yotan, I'd rather fight them all than break God's law. Hey, Zeus, what makes you think that we Jews are your servants?
Did you see that, Harry?
Boy, my kids have got to hear about this one. Hey, Mo, these Greek soldiers keep mooching grapes off of me.
Go fight City Hall, Harry. Hey, you know what Greeks want Mattathias to make the first sacrifice to Zeus?
Yeah, I figure if he does it, everyone will follow along.
Abba, I'll help you fight the Greek soldiers if you need me.
Better get all your brothers here, Jonathan, especially Judah. Anyone who believes in God, follow me to the hills!
I'm with you.
Me too!
Hey, Mo, do you believe the chutzpah of this Antiochus guy? Making us Jews sacrifice pigs to his Greek gods.
Yeah, someone's got to stand up to him.
I'm not gonna do it.
Me either.
This man's behavior is simply revolting.
Every time you give these people an idol, they have to go and smash it. I'd give this guy a ticket, but I can't write his name. This man's behavior is simply revolting.
Abba, there are only too many soldiers around. You have to say what they say.
Yotan, I'd rather fight them all than break God's law.
Of course! You want the secret password to get into Nearly's room. So answer this. Where is the Maccabees' birthplace, Modi'in?
Not far from Coney Island.
Between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
In the Judean desert.
What? You need a place to stay?
Not far from Coney Island.
Almost! Try again.
Between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
Right. The secret password is between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. You already know the secret password. But if you want more questions, why not? Mattathias and 5 sons were called by different names. Which were they not called?
Chashmonaim.
Kohanim.
Maccabim.
Mulafaphonim. Mulafaphonim. Bravo! Which animal did Greek soldiers order Mattathias to sacrifice to the Greek gods?
A camel.
An elephant.
An emu.
A pig. Yuck. A pig. Yuck. Good job. After Mattathias refused to sacrifice to the Greek gods, what did he call out?
Get your fresh olives here.
Whoever is with God, raise your right hand.
Oh, I was so excited. Who remembers?
Whoever is with God, follow me. Whoever is with God, follow me.
Bravo! Mattathias was the first leader of the revolt, and later Judah took over. Which brother did Mattathias appoint as Judah's military counselor?
Simon.
Me? Yonatan?
I can't tell you here. The Greek soldiers are listening.
Eleazar.
Me? Yonatan?
Almost. Try again. Eleazar. Not quite. Try again.
Simon.
Right. Where is the Maccabees' birthplace, Modi'in?
Not far from Coney Island.
Between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
In the Judean desert.
What? You need a place to stay?
Loading previous game.
It's locked. Don't you get it?
Hey, what are you staring at? You never seen a lock control? Man, I love latkes. I live for latkes. Wait a minute. That was my last latke. I need more latkes. More latkes. Well, you don't expect me to make them, do you? A potato. Very important for latkes. Give me another one. Can't have a potato sitting around, you know. It turns rotten and ugly like me. Another one! Make sure to sop up the water that comes out of the potatoes. Otherwise, latke soup. Another one. 4 potatoes? Enough already! You think potatoes grow on trees? 4 potatoes? Enough already! You think potatoes grow on trees? An onion? Anybody got a Kleenex out there? What are you trying to do, kill me? 1 onion's enough. You gonna wait for it to mix itself? Come on, stir it! This is baseball, you know. You don't have to hit the egg that hard. Try another one. Enough trolls gotta worry about cholesterol too, you know. Enough trolls gotta worry about cholesterol too, you know. Ketchup? What are you, crazy? Chocolate, wait a minute. Did you take that out of my cupboard? Salt? Why not? Put a sprinkle in. Pepper? Okay, but don't put in too much. We'll be chewing the latkes all day long. Spinach? Yuck! Too healthy. Apples and honey latke? Boy, are you confused. Ketchup? What are you, crazy? Once I dumped a whole jar of flour on my head. I looked like a latke ghost. More flour! Enough flour! Gotta save it for cookies, pies, cakes, stuff like that. I think everything's in. Now, you take your frying pan. Oh boy, they're cooking. Happy day, happy day! Hanukkah's on the way. Now feed them to me while they're hot. I hate challah. I despise matzah, but I love you, latkes. Who cares about the mess? It's latke time! I remember when Grandpa Troll used to make these. They were awful! Ugh, yours are much better. Uh-oh, don't tell me that was the last one. I need more! More latkes! More latkes! Well, you don't expect me to make them, do you? So, want key to Nerly's room? Well, you should have said so in the first place. Pick 2 ingredients. Maybe the key's hiding behind one of them. No key? Pick another. No key? Well, that's what you get for wasting my time. Again? All right. No key? Pick another. No key? Well, that's what you get for wasting my time. Again? All right. No key? Pick another. Big deal. You got lucky. You got a key to Nerly's room.
It's locked. Don't you get it? Ah, you've got the gold key.
What about the secret password? Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see you the control. He sure has bad manners. But would he take something of the professor's? Bomba, the warrior elephant. Back at the crime. I'm sure we've missed something. Look for new clues, and don't forget to review any old ones. Humor, the book of Maccabees. This seems a little light for our professor.
Lot-Control won't, the only cooking course he ever took. Lot-Control is ticklish near his belly. Lot-Control won't, the only cooking course he ever took. Lot-Control is ticklish near his belly.
Aha! Footprint! No, wait! A handprint! Why would someone be walking on their hands? Meet you back at my room, okay? Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
Oh me, oh my. I'm Bamba, and I don't know which is worse. Fighting the Maccabees or standing on this tightrope. Whoa! Oh. If you can guess which Hebrew letter goes into the Hanukkah word next to me, maybe I won't fall after all. That would be a miracle. Oh, and I think there's a library way down there, if you want to look up any Hanukkah words. I know these Hebrew words. Do you? Gvura means bravery. The Hanukkah story is filled with bravery of Mattathias, Judah and his brothers, Judith, Hannah and her sons, and of many others whose names we don't even know. Gadol means great. The words on the dreidel are Nes Gadol Haya Sham. A great miracle happened there. Zayit means olive. In the time of the Maccabees, only very pure olive oil, made from special olives grown in the land of Israel, was used to light the menorah in the temple. Hanukkah means vacation. When the Maccabees entered the temple and saw what the Greeks had done, they worked hard to clean it and make it holy again. Chanukhat Habayit. Kohen means priest. Mattathias and his sons were priests, which meant that they were descendants of Aaron, Moses' brother, and they could lead the temple rituals. Leva means pancake, or in Yiddish, it's a latka. It's made of potatoes and fried in oil to remind us of the miracle of the oil in the temple. Peel means me. An elephant. The Greeks used us as their tanks when fighting against the Maccabees. Oh me, oh my. I'm Bamba, and I don't know which is worse. Fighting the Maccabees or standing on this tightrope. Whoa! Oh. If you can guess which Hebrew letter goes into the Hanukkah word next to me, maybe I won't fall after all. That would be a miracle. Oh, and I think there's a library way down there, if you want to look up any Hanukkah words. I know these Hebrew words. Do you? Yud. That letter's not in the word. Vav. Thank God you got one. Dalet. Thank God you got one. Gimel. Thank God you got one. Lamed. You did it! The word is Gadol. Gadol means great. The words on the dreidel are Nes Gadol Haya Sham. A great miracle happened there. If you want to play again, click on my laundry. Okay, let's hope for the best. Aleph. That letter's not in the word. Bet. Nope. Tet. Oh me, oh my. Chet. Oh no. Ayin. Good try. The word was mikdash. Hey, click on my laundry if you want to play again. Oh my, you want the key to Nerly's room? Okay. If you can spell the word Maccabi, Maccabee in Hebrew, you'll earn yourself a key, I think. Way to go! You got the key to Nearly's room!
It's locked. Don't you get it?
The Maccabees, under Judah's leadership, fought the Greeks in the hills around Jerusalem. Though their army was small and they had few weapons, the Maccabees surprised the Greeks with some major victories.
They've got to be around here somewhere.
I don't see them.
How do you steer these things anyway? You will bail by spirit alone. And a couple of well-aimed arrows.
Look all weapons they have. I hope God is on our side.
Trust me.
How will we ever strike our target from this distance? Oh. Ready, aim, fire!
Oi, this is not my day.
Special today only, special elephant life insurance. Men, we are fighting for our lives and our faith. If any of you want to turn back, do it now.
Just kidding, Judah.
The Greeks have us numbered, but remember, we know every inch of this land, and they don't.
Where in Zeus's name is Jerusalem anyway?
We'll hide these hills, and when they're under us, I'll lead the attack.
That's why they call me Judah the Hammer.
Hey! I won't tell them you're hiding over there!
Oi!
Funny, it worked last week.
You will bail by spirit alone. And a couple of well-aimed arrows.
Of course, you want the secret password to get into Nearly's room. So answer this. The Maccabees surprised the Greeks by hiding in the hills near Jerusalem and ambushing Greek forces. Which hills were they?
Judean hills.
Beverly Hills.
Mount Olympus.
Judean hills.
Right, the secret password is Judean hills. You can answer more questions for fun if you want. In one of Judah Maccabee's early victories, he beat the Greek Syrian general Apollonius and took something of his that he then fought with for years. What was it?
His sword.
His hammer.
His mother-in-law.
His sword.
Excellent! According to the Maccabees, what did the Greeks give their elephants before a battle to lift their energy?
Peanut butter.
Milkshakes.
Grape juice. Grape juice.
Good job! In another story often told at Hanukkah, a Jewish woman single-handedly defeats an enemy general named Holofernes by getting him drunk and killing him. Who was this woman?
Wonder Woman.
Judith.
Delilah.
Judith.
Right! What we call the Jewish Olympic Games held in Israel every 4 years.
The Falafel Games.
The Olympiada.
The Maccabia. The Maccabia.
Right! The Maccabees surprised the Greeks by hiding in the hills near Jerusalem and ambushing Greek forces. Which hills were they?
Judean hills.
Beverly Hills.
Mount Olympus. It's locked. Don't you get it? Ah, you've got the gold key.
What about the secret password? Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see you visited Bamba the elephant. A real cowardly sort, right? But you never know. Back at the crime. I'm sure we've missed something. Look for new clues, and don't forget to review any old ones. How to win dreidel. The professor is not the competitive sort.
Bamba the elephant is afraid of mice. Bamba the elephant knows how to tap dance. Bamba the elephant is afraid of mice. Bamba the elephant knows how to tap dance. Bamba the elephant is afraid of mice.
Aha! Oil on the cloth. But it doesn't smell like the professor's historic oil, does it? It smells like cheap hair oil. You have 3 more suspects to check out. See you back at my room, and hey, you're doing good. Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
Hold on. Don't let just anybody into Nearly's room. You need a gold key and the secret password.
The temple in Jerusalem was taken over by the Greeks under Antiochus and turned into a Greek sanctuary. When Judah Maccabee led his troops into Jerusalem in 165 BCE, they marched up to the Temple Mount and entered the courtyard of the temple.
Oh, the Greeks got rid of almost everything that had been here, but we've managed to find a small jar of oil to light the menorah. But wait a minute! Where is the menorah?
Ah, you want to know more about how the temple in Jerusalem was restored? It was Judah Maccabee's shining hour. The 7-inch menorah that stood in the temple was made out of a solid piece of gold, just like the golden menorah of the tabernacle that the Jews carried with them in the desert. What's this? A lulav on Hanukkah? On Sukkot, Jews would make a pilgrimage to the temple in Jerusalem and wave the lulav. When Judah and his followers dedicated the temple after the victory, they waved the lulav. This is a picture of the second temple from the period soon after the Maccabees. The red is the northern courtyard where sacrifices were brought. The blue is the southern courtyard where the rabbis of the Jewish high court, the Sanhedrin, ran the justice system of ancient Israel. The gold is the Holy of Holies, the Kodesh HaKodashim, where the high priest entered on Yom Kippur to ask forgiveness for the people. The green is the section of the wall surrounding the temple that we call the Kotel, the Western Wall, where Jews pray in Jerusalem today. Ah! Here's where Maccabees fought. Blue is Judah Maccabee's first important victory, where he captured the sword of the Greek military governor Apollonius. Red is Judah's second major victory, where he defeated the Greek commander Seron at Beit Horon. Green is Judah's third and most surprising victory, where Judah staged a night attack against the general Gorgias at Emmaus. Brown is Judah's victory over the forces of General Lysias at Beit Sur, which finally opened the road to Jerusalem. Gold is Jerusalem, where Judah and his troops reclaimed the temple. In Israel, the name Maccabi in Hebrew, stands for victory. Israel's legendary basketball team is called Maccabi Tel Aviv. Why cheese? Because on Hanukkah, we remember a heroine of an earlier time named Judith. When the Assyrian king Nebuchadnezzar was trying to take over Judea, he sent his general, Holofernes, to march on Jerusalem. On his way, in a small village called Bethulia, he met a woman named Judith, who fed him salty cheese to make him thirsty.
Trying to get in her room? Not so fast. You need a gold key and the secret password.
The temple in Jerusalem was taken over by the Greeks under Antiochus and turned into a Greek sanctuary. When Judah Maccabee led his troops into Jerusalem in 165 BCE, they marched up to the Temple Mount and entered the courtyard of the temple.
Oh, the Greeks got rid of almost everything that had been here, but we've managed to find a small jar of oil to light the menorah. But wait a minute! Where is the menorah? These iron spears? Greek soldiers must have left them, and maybe with a little work. Voila! A perfect menorah. But the oil's not gonna hold out for long. We need to travel to a faraway place to get olives. Quick! What can I write on to get to the olive trees? Oh really, you expect me to write that? Please. Oh really, you expect me to write that? Please. The Greeks used pigs as sacrifices here, but who knows? It's not a Ferrari, but it'll do. Go get the olives! You got them? Good. Yeah, but how are we gonna crush them to make oil? I said, how are we going to crush the olives to make oil? This altar where the Greeks brought their sacrifices has potential. An oil... Now we're cooking. But we can't use the oil for the menorah unless it has an official seal. We need someone to put on the seal. Any volunteers? Looks like Zeus, the Greek god who got most of the sacrifices here. But wait a minute. Alright, High Priest, now we're cooking. We got ourselves some new oil and look, that little bit of oil is still burning. Hallelujah!
Of course, you want the secret password to get into Nelly's room. So answer this. What does the word Hanukkah mean?
Light, as in lighting the darkness. Victory, as in the Maccabees' victory over the Greeks. Dedication, as in dedicating the temple. Dedication, as in dedicating the temple.
Right. The secret password is dedication. You already know the secret password. But if you want more questions, why not? The Maccabees' dedication of the temple was held on the 25th day of which Hebrew month?
Tishrei? Kislev. December? Kislev.
Bravo! In the time of Maccabees, which part of the temple was considered the most holy?
The western wall. The Holy of Holies. The altar where offerings were brought. The Holy of Holies.
Right! When the Maccabees cleaned and purified the temple, why did they need more oil?
To keep the menorah lit. To make more latkes, of course. To grease the wheels of their chariots. To keep the menorah lit.
Right! When the miracle of oil happened, how many days did the small amount of oil continue to burn?
7. It rested on Shabbat. 8. Just long enough. It was so amazing I forgot to count. 8. Just long enough.
Bravo! What does the word Hanukkah mean?
Light, as in lighting the darkness. Victory, as in the Maccabees' victory over the Greeks. Dedication, as in dedicating the temple.
Do 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 do. Have you seen my screwdriver? I'm Schlemiel, and I was just about to fix all the musical instruments from the temple in Jerusalem when I misplaced my... What's that you say? Oh yeah, the Greeks sure left everything a mess. Look how broken all these instruments are. I'm gonna need my glasses for this job. Where are my glasses? They were here a minute ago. Anyway, you can help me by dragging the pieces of a musical instrument to my carpet and fitting them back together again. If you get stuck, click on my saw. Okay, wise guy, who took my pencil? Hey, this isn't my screwdriver. Hey, these aren't my glasses. Hey, this isn't my pencil. Good work! You put together the pa'amon. This is the popular instrument in the temple. Even the high priest, HaKohen HaGadol, wore miniature ones attached to his robe. Great! You put together the toph! Wow! You put together the Chatzotzra! In temple ceremonies, the priests, the Kohanim, would blow this. If you were making a trip to Jerusalem, say at Passover, Shavuot, or Sukkot, this might be the first sound of the temple you'd hear in the distance. Hey, you put together the Nevel. If you walk up those steep steps to the temple, greeting you was a huge choir of Levites and an orchestra of stringed instruments, including this Nevel. Well, now, how about a little song in honor of the Maccabees? You can keep on the instruments, or you can click on my carpet to start repairing again. Now where did I leave those pliers? Oh, you want the key to Nerly's room? I thought I saw it somewhere. Well, let's hear the sounds of the temple instruments. And if you can click on them in the same order, you'll get the key. Here it is. You got the key to Nearly's room.
Ah, you've got the gold key.
What about the secret password? What about the secret password? Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see you visited the temple repairman. Do you think a bumbler like him could be behind all this? Back and see the crime. I'm sure we've missed something. Look for new clues, and don't forget to review any old ones. A dictionary of Hanukkah words. This is too elementary for the professor.
Shlomi the repairman can't fix an instrument to save his life. Shlomi the repairman is allergic to dust. Shlomi the repairman can't fix an instrument to save his life.
The mat is wet. That's not surprising. The professor bathes in his pond each day of Hanukkah before coming in to light the menorah. You have 2 more suspects to check out. See you back at my room. We'll solve this one yet. Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
Oh, I'm not a... Well, you want the key to Nearly's room? Now, if you can put in its proper place, the first candle we light on the 5th night of Hanukkah, you'll have yourself a key. Well, congratulations! You got the key to Nearly's room.
Current game has been saved. Loading previous game.
It's locked. Don't you get it?
The Maccabee revolt succeeded. Judea was an independent country for 130 years until the rise of Rome. For the next several centuries, the rabbis of the Talmud argued about how to observe the holiday and the miracle of Hanukkah. You want to know more about how the rabbis turned Hanukkah into a real festival of lights? Let's see. Olive known one of the 7 species of fruit with which the land of Israel is blessed. The other 6 species are wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates, and dates. The rabbis taught us to place the Hanukkah menorah near a window so that passerby can see its lights and be reminded of the miraculous victory of the Maccabees and the miracle of the oil. In Hebrew, this custom is called Pesum Hanez, publicizing the miracle. This is how a page of Talmud is set up. In the middle is a record of discussions by rabbis from the centuries after the Maccabees, called Mishnah and Gemara. And around the sides are later ideas about what's discussed in the middle. It's a conversation across time and space. For example, Hillel and Shammai lived in Palestine at the same time. Eliezer lived a couple of generations later, also in Palestine. And Rabbah lived centuries later in Babylonia. There's no specific section of the Talmud about Hanukkah. In fact, Hillel and Shammai's argument about how to light Hanukkah lights is found in a section of the Talmud about Shabbat.
Why if I don't have enough money to buy oil for Shabbat lights and Hanukkah lights?
That's a tough one, Rabbah.
So I say myself, Shabbat lights are more important because they bring peace into my house. That makes sense. Okay, but what if it is between Hanukkah lights and wine for Shabbat? Which do I buy?
You got me.
I can't miss Kiddush. I do it every week. True, but I must light Hanukkah lights to publicize the miracle of Hanukkah.
Also true.
So I say, publicize the miracle of Hanukkah.
Thank God!
Hee-haw! Hee-haw!
I say we start with 8 lights and go down to 1. That way you'll always see how many days of Hanukkah are left.
No way. I say we start with 1 light and add 1 for each night of Hanukkah. Holiness should always increase, not decrease.
I agree with Hillel. Me too.
Me too. Sorry, Shammai.
You guys have to let me win sometime.
Hanukkah time celebration. We say Al Hanusim and the Hallel prayer.
Why Hallel, Hillel?
To thank God for the miracle of Hanukkah, and we never fast.
I'll drink to that.
During the 8 days of Hanukkah, and while the Hanukkah lights are burning, we don't do any work.
Hey, party time!
Why would we celebrate Hanukkah? To remember the miracle that the Jewish spirit lived on, and that the oil in the temple burned for 8 days. I got light Hanukkah lamps with olive oil to remind us of the miracle.
All this talk of miracles, what if all of God's miracles can be explained through the laws of nature?
If you don't believe in miracles, then what do you call this?
See, where can I get a set of those Hanukkah lamps?
I say Jewish people like a cat. Both have 9 lives. I say rabbis and cats should both keep their whiskers away from the fire. I say the real miracle is if we ever get to eat. I say the Jewish people is like a cat. Both have 9 lives.
Of course, you want the secret password to get into Nearly's room. So answer this. Which oil do the rabbis prefer for lighting the Hanukkah lamps?
Corn oil.
Sesame Street oil.
Spinach oil.
Olive oil. Olive oil.
Right. The secret password is olive oil. You can answer more questions for fun if you want. The rabbi of the Talmud stressed what part of the Hanukkah story?
The Maccabees' victory on the battlefield.
Antiochus's evil decrees.
The miracle of the oil.
Hanukkah Geld.
The miracle of the oil.
Good job! On Hanukkah, we are commanded not only to light the Hanukkah menorah, but to put it in a certain place. Where?
Where babies can't reach it.
Where the wax won't get on the carpet.
Where we can see its reflection.
Where the most people can see it. Where the most people can see it.
Right! Who is Rabbi taught us to light 1 more candle each additional night of Hanukkah until all 8 are burning?
Me, Rabbi Eliezer.
Me, Rabbi Hillel.
Me, Rabbi Shammai.
Me, Rabbah.
Me, Rabbi Shammai.
Almost. Try again.
Me, Rabbi Hillel.
Right! What is another name for Hanukkah?
Chag HaUrim, the festival of lights.
Chag HaBikurim, the festival of first fruits.
Chag HaNisim, the festival of miracles.
Chag HaKaloriot, the festival of high calories. Chag HaUrim, the festival of lights.
Right! Which oil did rabbis prefer for lighting the Hanukkah lamps?
Corn oil.
Sesame Street oil.
Spinach oil.
Olive oil.
It's locked. Don't you get it? Ah, you've got the gold key.
Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see you visited Mademoiselle Menorah. If she's the one who took the jar, she'd certainly know how to disguise it. Back at the scene of the crime, I'm sure we've missed something. Look for new clues, and don't forget to review any old ones. This didn't slip off the professor's hand, that's for sure.
I'll show us to the fortune teller. She was here playing dreidel with the professor. She's spooky, but she didn't take the jar.
50 days to your latkes. The professor hates to cook.
Mademoiselle Menorah sleeps in her makeup. Mademoiselle Menorah hates bright lights.
You have one last suspect to check out. Keep at it, and when we meet again, you can tell me who you think did it. That's my room. See you later. Current game has been saved. Back to the action.
For generations, Jews have been celebrating Hanukkah, especially the commandment to light the Hanukkah menorah, or Hanukkah. Because Jews live in so many places, different customs grew up around the lighting of the Hanukkah menorah.
Jonah, stand straight, and don't forget to speak slowly. Abby, keep your hair out of your eyes, and get rid of your gum, for heaven's sakes. Okay, ready?
Welcome to our show, where we bring you Hanukkah magic from around the world.
Here is Hanukkah menorah, 8 candles and a shamash.
Now you see it, now you don't.
You want to know more about how Hanukkah is celebrated around the world? Let's go! Where do you live? If it's the Southern Hemisphere, South America, South Africa, Australia, Hanukkah comes in the hot summertime, and it's always pretty late when it gets dark enough for candle lighting. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, North America, Israel, Europe, Hanukkah falls in the winter, around the shortest days of the year. The Hanukkah menorah helps bring light and a feeling of warmth into the winter's early darkness. Limited Hanukkah song called Ocho Candelitas from the former Yugoslavia.
Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Una candelitas, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vou fazer com alegrias e prazer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer com alegrias e prazer. Una candelicas, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí.
Where do you play drill or sevivone is one of the most popular ways of celebrating Hanukkah around the world. The name, whether the Yiddish dreidel or the Hebrew sevivone, comes from the word meaning to spin.
Welcome to our show, where we bring you Hanukkah memories from around the world.
Here is a Hanukkah menorah, 8 candles and a shamash.
Now you see it, now you don't.
Funny, we always made our Hanukkah menorah out of empty tin cans. You couldn't pay me to wear one of those hats. If they can do that, why don't they just make the teacher disappear? Funny, we always made our Hanukkah menorah out of empty tin cans.
Hanukkah!
Let's not get mixed up. This is the menorah that stood in the temple, and it had 7 branches.
And this is Hanukkah menorah many of us light today. 8 candles for 8 days and a shamish to do the lighting.
Hanukkah!
Look how simple first Hanukkah menorahs were. This one's from the time of the Talmud. You pour in some oil and light a little wick which floated on top of the oil.
The wick would soak up the oil and keep the flame burning until no oil was left. Hanukkah! The commandment of Persum Hanes to publicize the miracle led many Jewish families to hang their Hanukkah menorahs outside their homes for everybody to see.
Some played on doorposts opposite where the mezuzah was hanging, and many menorahs, like this one, had glass around them so the wind wouldn't blow out the flames. Hanukkah! In Morocco, some menorahs had 4 oil cups. People used both ends of the wicks to make 8 lights.
Is that why we say lighting the candle at both ends? Hanukkah! In Syria, some menorahs had 2 shamishes. One is the regular shamish, and the second is a sign of thanks that Jews who came there from Spain were accepted into the community.
I always say, the more light, the merrier. Hanukkah! In Turkey, the fibers that protected the etrog on Sukkot were woven into the wicks of the Hanukkah candles, and waxing the Hanukkah candles were then made into the candle used to search for chametz on the night before Passover.
That's what I call recycling. Hanukkah! In this menorah from Eastern Europe, little chairs had dreidel letters on them, and you'd add a little chair for each night.
A new way to play musical chairs.
Hanukkah! Let's not get up. This is the menorah that stood in the temple, and it had 7 branches.
And this is Hanukkah menorah many of us light today. 8 candles for 8 days and a shamish to do the lighting.
Of course, you want the secret password to get into Nelly's room. So answer this. Why do we eat latkes and donuts on Hanukkah?
They're made with oil to remind us of the miracle of the oil.
They're sweet, like the Maccabees' victory.
They're delicious. What more do you need to know?
They're made with oil to remind us of the miracle of the oil.
Right, the secret password is made with oil. You can answer more questions for fun if you want. The letters are taken from the phrase Nes Gadol Haya Sham. What does that mean?
A great light burned there.
A great miracle happened there.
Don't count your miracles before they hatch.
A great miracle happened there.
Bravo! Unlike countries below the equator, when does Hanukkah fall in North America, Israel, and Europe?
At night.
When the days of the year are shortest.
I don't know. I always go south for Hanukkah.
When the days of the year are shortest.
Good job! No matter what Hanukkah menorah looks like, how do we light it?
From right to left.
From left to right.
Very carefully.
From left to right.
Bravo!
It's locked. Don't you get it?
Hey baby, I'm Aura, and I'm a star when it comes to singing Hanukkah songs.
She thinks she's so number 1, Dora.
Tell me about it, Nora.
Now, you can pick any of our Hanukkah hit songs. Come back to me to stop a song.
And come to us to pause or start again.
And honey, anytime you want to sing it yourself, just unplug our rainbow. Wish we could unplug her.
Amen, sister.
Master is a song of thanks to God for saving the Jewish people time and again in history.
It was written over 700 years ago by a poet named Mordechai, and the first letters of the verses spell out his name.
Never heard of the guy. He ought to get himself a better agent.
Hanerot Halalu is a prayer about the miraculous victory of the Maccabees.
We sing after candle blessings, and it reminds us that the candles are for looking at only, to remind us of the Hanukkah miracle.
Right on! Candles are always beautiful to look at.
Yemei HaChanukkah is a song about how we celebrate Hanukkah.
We spin the dreidel, we eat donuts, especially if we're in Israel.
And we light the candles and say, God bless the Maccabees!
העיר הוא
Oh, honey, you want the key to Nearly's room? No sweat. If you can name that tune, you'll be in key heaven. Click on Dora or Nora to hear the excerpt again. Ready, set?
Hey, baby, you got the key to Nearly's room.
It's locked. Don't you get it? Ah, you've got the gold key.
Now that's what I call a password.
Come on in. I see you've visited Dora Star. She's so rich and famous. Would she lower herself to a crime like this? Now it's final time to solve this mystery. Go to the scene of the crime and check it out one last time, carefully. Take your time. You can go back over all the clues by clicking more than once. Whenever you're ready to solve the mystery, come back into my room.
Dora Star has perfect pitch. Dora Star used to drive a taxi cab.
Famous Hanukkah monologues. The professor's never been a fan of the theater.
Groucho Cat reads detective novels.
See no evil.
Now's the big moment. Bring up the picture of whoever you think did it and click on it. Good work, detective. Narcissus used his exceptional strength to open the window from the outside. When he saw that the professor was sleeping, he probably flashed his phony smile. Since he has no leg, he walked on his hands toward the famous jar. When he passed the mirror, he just had to flip over to admire himself and smooth down his hair. That's when the lights went out. With hair on his fingers, he groped for the jar, tucked it under his armpit, and walked back across the room on his hands, leaving quickly through the same window he came in through.
Congratulations! You've solved the mystery! Wait a minute! That means I've been caught trying to sneak the famous jar back into Greek hands.
My jar is back! I'm eternally grateful to you. Now I can burn my special oil on the last night of Hanukkah.
מתחיל משחק חדש. ערב אחד. לפני חג החנוכה, ישב פרופסור